Good morning. It's December 29th, and this is to my liberal friends. Well, Joe Biden keeps telling everyone they should buy an electric car and ditch the fossil fuel one powered by a gas engine. This has become a popular policy in states run by Democrats. California, as expected, has led this charge, and it's growing across the nation, and other states are following. The culprits are, as we would expect. Washington, Massachusetts, New York, Oregon, and Vermont are all expected to adopt California's ban on new gas-fueled cars. In Minnesota, it's become a legal battle, and in Virginia, Republicans are fighting back on a Democratic legislature trying to mandate EVs for everyone. Pennsylvania partially adopted California's older standards, and under a Democratic governor, they were pushing forward, but now they've abandoned it in the face of public pressure. And Democrats don't like to give up, and this year Rhode Island, another Democratic stronghold, adopted a California-type policy. Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee on May 10th announced the state's Department of Environmental Management filed regulations first advanced by the California Air Resources Board in 2022 to require all new cars, pickup trucks, and SUVs sold in the state to be zero emission by 2035. Well, that's a key point, zero emission, not zero carbon. Connecticut, Colorado, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, New Mexico, Minnesota, and Nevada are all states that could adopt the clean air standards that California has. Many of these states have historically followed suit with California's previously car regulations. Again, the common denominator is Democrats controlling the process. But some of these progressive politicians might be in for a rude wake-up call as consumers start to understand what they're mandating. Up in Maine, the weather played a role in making a final decision. They had a major storm that caused major power outages around the state. Guess what? What's that do for a driver's ability to charge their car? They're just stuck in the snow. The Maine Board of Environmental Protection was scheduled to take a final vote on Thursday, but it was postponed because of the power outages. Now, I wonder how everybody's going to charge up that car if they finally do it. Consumers are starting to realize that electric cars are not all they were touted to be. There are studies out that show they're not as good for the environment as people were led to believe. When you're sitting around that cushy electric car surrounded by electronics, you're on top of a 900-pound battery that's filled with minerals that have been mined around the world. To produce these batteries, millions of tons of lithium, cobalt, bauxite, and other rare minerals have been mined, and this takes a toll on the environment. And those minerals, like oil and gas, have a finite amount and will eventually run out. And most of these minerals come from nations that are not friendly to the U.S., as you might like. I'm talking about Russia, China, Indonesia, Congo, and Guinea. And then there's a second part of this little secret. When you plug that car in to recharge your battery, where do you think that electricity is coming from? The vast majority of that power is coming from the grid, and that power is produced by coal, natural gas, nuclear, and from a smaller set, wind and solar. Then we have to look at all the practical aspects of owning an electric vehicle. Now, I just built a new home, and I put 2 charging ports in the garage. I don't own an electric car at this point, but it would cost more to put them in later, so it was cost effective to put them in now. But what about people that live in older neighborhoods that might not have a garage to park their car? How are they going to charge their car? In the neighborhood I grew up in Pittsburgh, that would have been impossible. The final problem with electric cars is, as far as consumers go, is the cost. Most of the cars cost significantly more than gas-powered cars. The car manufacturers have finally admitted they're losing money on every one they sell, and absent the tax credits, the cost to consumers would be even higher. GM, after settling the strike, has stated they're slowing down production of EVs because they're high labor costs in the new contract. As a result, electric cars and trucks are piling up on dealer lots, causing auto companies to reassess their investment plans. It takes a dealership around 3 weeks longer to sell an EV than a gas vehicle. And that's according to data from car shopping website Edmunds. A year ago, battery-powered cars were selling faster than their gasoline counterparts, but the public's starting to wake up, and it's not happening now. And I've talked about this problem in the past podcast, and one of the other problems is when you're on the road, you have to constantly be looking for a charging station, and then it's sitting there anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour to recharge the battery. The range is shown on most electric vehicles is not really being truthful. Those ranges are dumb while testing the car with almost no accessories running. That means everything in your body, the car takes power, and it's draining the battery. So don't count on running air conditioning if you want to get that mileage. Couple that with the increasing cost of recharging your vehicle on the road, and it starts being a major inconvenience. Now, I admit that around town, an electric vehicle makes a lot of sense, provided you can charge it in your garage overnight. The real solution here is just like it is for any other renewable energy product. Allow the marketplace to decide what the consumers want. Just like Biden telling everyone they have to move to electric stoves, electric furnaces, etc., he ignores where the electricity comes from and how it's created. But his moves appease those on the far left who view climate issues as the only ones the Americans should think about. Most of them live in urban areas, and the humor is they take buses and other mass transportation that are fueled by fossil fuels. But hey, don't let the facts get in the way of your political arguments. It's been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.